This is the 18 WJTS News. In tonight's news, Deaconess Health Systems in Evansville has confirmed that they have their first positive COVID-19 test result. Health departments continue to release a healthy dose of information on the coronavirus pandemic. Jasper City Council passed a resolution extending the executive order halting utility disconnects for the city. Storms will continue overnight and colder weather follows. Kurt Guxell joins us for a look at sports, and then it's WJTS Inform. All this and more coming up on the 18 WJTS News. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Bill Potter with the WJTS News. Deaconess Health Systems in Evansville has confirmed that they have their first positive COVID-19 test result. Reports say that the patient was sent for curbside testing at Deaconess Midtown Hospital from an outpatient facility in Henderson, Kentucky. The patient has been reportedly contacted and is performing a home quarantine. Both Indiana and Kentucky health departments have been notified. The DuBois County Health Department released a statement this morning reminding DuBois County residents to stay healthy amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The statement says that DuBois County Health Department has been working closely with the Indiana State Department of Health and local officials to continue to monitor and share current information. The person-to-person spread of COVID-19 appears to be mainly between people who are in close contact with one another, within about 6 feet. Through respiratory droplets when an infected person coughs or sneezes. It may also be possible that the virus can spread from touching a surface that has the virus. Signs and symptoms include fever, cough, and shortness of breath. Existing data suggests older Americans or older adults and people with underlying health conditions or compromised immune systems are in greater risk. The DuBois County Health Department suggests all citizens take steps to protect themselves. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Cover your mouth and nose with a tissue when you cough or sneeze, or use the inside of your elbow. Wash your hands with soap and warm water with friction as well for at least 20 seconds. If you are sick, stay home and away from other people. Clean and disinfect objects and surfaces you touch. DuBois County Health Department will continue to closely work with community partners to monitor and review the situation. As these are rapidly changing circumstances, the Indiana State Department of Health and Center for Disease Control, or CDC, are updating guidelines routinely. Your local health department will continue to monitor those updates and share strategies to prevent further outbreaks. And it continues. Also, the DuBois County Health Department has received several calls and inquiries about traveling in the United States and if those spring break travel plans should be canceled. At this time, the CDC has not issued any restrictions for travel in the United States. There are confirmed cases of coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 reported in all states. The DuBois County Health Department does encourage their residents to avoid all unnecessary travel and to stay home if possible. By the way, there are no reported cases in DuBois County. The CDC does give several considerations before you travel if you are on the fence as to whether to cancel or feel your travel is absolutely necessary. Is the virus spreading in the area where you plan to go? Check the local health department and state department websites. People need to know who and how many people are with you when you travel. Are you driving a far distance with a carload of people? Taking a plane? What are your plans when you get to your destination? Closed-in spaces and not distancing yourself from others does increase your risk to the respiratory virus. Are the people you're traveling with considered high risk? Older adults and individuals of any age who have serious chronic medical conditions such as heart disease, lung disease, or diabetes are more likely to get severe illness if they get the COVID-19. The CDC has recommended these high-risk individuals to avoid non-essential air travel. What happens if during your travel you encounter someone with COVID-19 and must stay at home to self-monitor for an extended amount of time, or in the hotel, for instance, or you become ill yourself? Also remember, an individual may show minor symptoms but still spread the virus to those high-risk individuals. The best way to prevent COVID-19 infection is to avoid exposure to the virus. Wash your hands often with soap and water and use friction. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Practice social distancing of at least 6 feet away from others. Stay home if you are ill. The DuBois County Health Department supports the experience, education, and relaxation that any type of travel brings to oneself, but when the time is appropriate and safety of one and others are not at risk. We must work together to take all steps necessary to preserve the health of our community. The focus right now is to prevent the virus from entering our county. Wondering what the criteria is for those who get tested for COVID-19? The Indiana State Department of Health is authorizing tests using the following guidelines. Patients requiring hospitalization with fever and lower respiratory symptoms consisting of A, admission to the hospital due to complications of their acute respiratory illness, or B, negative or other circumstances of infection such as influenza and RVP if available in less than 1 day. Healthcare workers also are a priority. Inpatient, outpatient, nursing home, and other long-term services who provide direct patient care to those at-risk patients. Symptomatic with fever and lower respiratory symptoms and in their role has potential or unknown exposure to or at-risk patients. Negative for other sources of infections, including influenza and RVP. Long-term care facility residents or personnel or prison and jail residents and staff who have direct contact with patients or inmates, symptomatic with fever and respiratory illness and otherwise no known COVID-19 contact. They also must be negative for other respiratory illnesses. Influenza, if RVP can be done in a timely manner. All testing performed by Indiana State Department of Health is done using their protocol. The DuBois County Health Department and Memorial Hospital are required to follow the Indiana State Department of Health algorithm guidelines. For whom the bell tolls, time marches on. As you may have heard today, St. Joseph's Parish or a church near you has tolled their bells today. Starting at 3 o'clock this afternoon, that's Thursday afternoon, the faithful watchmen, the bell tower of St. Joseph Catholic Church in Jasper, rang or tolled the bells for 15 minutes. This was meant to unite the community in prayer, as March 19th is the feast day of St. Joseph, Father of Jesus and patron saint of St. Joseph Parish. Every day going forward, the bells will gently toll for 5 minutes in a continued invitation of prayer. Many churches are joining this movement by St. Joseph's Church. Wednesday evening, the Jasper City Council passed a resolution to extend the executive order halting utility disconnects for the city. Mayor Dean Vonderheide had previously issued the executive order, but by state law, he could only suspend utility disconnections for 7 days, as the City Council is the body with the power to make longer-term decisions. The new resolution is in effect until next month's City Council meeting, which is April 22nd, where the Council will reevaluate the situation at that time. Vonderheide told the Council that for the foreseeable future, the City is operating on guidelines provided by state and federal agencies. At the Council meeting, the seating arrangements were spaced out to adhere to social distancing, and the Council's agenda was trimmed to only feature urgent city business. Additionally, Mayor Dean Vonderheide and Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spinner will be holding a joint press conference through Facebook Live to update their citizens on what information they have about the coronavirus and the two cities' responses at that time. The joint press conference will be on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and again, it will be on Facebook. 101 Country, WBDC 100.9 FM, our radio partner, will air the press conference live as well. Kimball International has released a statement regarding their response to COVID-19. Kimball International has announced 2 special programs for their manufacturing employees. One of the programs is a special care program to provide up to 2 weeks of paid leave for employees who are considered as high risk of getting COVID-19. Another is having an established manufacturing fund to provide financial support for employees facing hardships caused by the pandemic. In the statement, Kimball International asked its employees to work from home if possible, as well as implementing new policies. These policies include all professional roles capable of working from home to do so, and have temporarily closed their Kimball International showroom locations for at least the next 2 weeks. Restricted all non-essential business travel, encouraged employees to limit personal travel based on new CDC guidelines. Introduced more stringent guidelines to limit visitors at there are many locations of Kimball International. Kimball International has also educated all employees on health and safety measures to keep themselves safe based on CDC guidelines and have enhanced cleaning procedures at their facilities across the globe. Kimball says they have quickly activated their business continuity plans to minimize the impact customers will experience in the day-to-day operations of their business. At this time, Kimball International has no confirmed cases of COVID-19 within the company, but are taking action now because they feel it is the right thing to do. Toyota is closing all of its automobile and component plants in North America because of COVID-19. All manufacturing facilities are closing their doors from March 23rd to the 24th for deep cleaning. Production is expected to resume on March 25th. All service parts depots and vehicle logistics centers will continue operating as normal during this time. The DuBois County Solid Waste Management District's Process Center is changing its business hours because of the pandemic. This is the Process Center. Until April 16th, the Solid Waste Management District Process Center will pause its public hours. County services will be limited only to essential business. For more information or to discuss further options for your items, call the office at 812-482-7865, 482-7865. The other 8 county residential recycling and trash sites will continue their regular hours with additional safety measures in place. For more information about the DuBois County Solid Waste District, go to DuBoisCountyRecycles.org, or you can visit their Facebook page as well. The Martin County Recycling Center is reducing its hours effective immediately because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The center will now be open to the public on Tuesdays from 9 a.m. to 4:30 and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 12 until further notice. Shoals Recycling Center will keep its regular hours of operation. The Indiana Higher Education Commission is providing resources for institutions, students, and parents amid COVID-19 closures. The commission is working with the state's public, private, and proprietary post-secondary institutions to stay up to date with changing circumstances, including linking to the information at www.che.in.gov. All state employees are being advised to work remotely, limit in-person meetings to less than 10 people, and host meets virtually when possible. The Commission is following this guidance and will continue maintaining operations, including its financial and support center. Vincennes University is canceling all face-to-face commencement ceremonies scheduled through May 16th. University officials tell us they are exploring other options for virtual commencement activities. Earlier this week, the Vincennes University, announced that they will be conducting the rest of the spring semester's classes online. The American Red Cross is looking for sites in the area to host blood drives as the American Red Cross now faces a severe blood shortage due to an unprecedented number of blood drive cancellations in response to the coronavirus outbreak. Healthy individuals are needed to donate to help patients counting on life-saving blood. As the coronavirus pandemic grows here in the U.S., blood drive cancellations have also grown. To date, nearly 4,000 Red Cross blood drives have been canceled across the country due to concerns about congregating at workplaces, college campuses, and schools amidst the outbreak. These cancellations have resulted in some 100,000 fewer blood donations. More than 80% of the blood the Red Cross collects comes from drives held at locations of this type. The blood drive schedule is changing daily. Please visit redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS or use the Red Cross Blood Donor app to find the most current list of open blood drives online. Holiday World and Splash and Safari may have to postpone opening day due to COVID-19. In a statement released by fourth-generation owner and director of communications Leah Cook, Holiday World and Splash and Safari has never missed an opening day, but the COVID-19 pandemic is causing concern. Cook says that Holiday World officials are watching reports about COVID-19 from the Center for Disease Control and the World Health Organization carefully and consulting with colleagues at other parks to find out when it will be safe for both guests and team members to open. Cook says that park goers may experience some changes when the park does officially open, such as temporary ride closures as the rides get disinfected. The opening day is still set for May 2nd. However, things could change. Lincoln Boyhood National Memorial is announcing modifications to operations to implement the latest guidance from the White House, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and local and state authorities to promote social distancing. As of March 18th, the Lincoln Boyhood National Memorial Visitor Center is closed until further notice. Where it is possible to adhere to the latest health guidance of social distancing, visitors are invited to enjoy the hiking trails in the park. The health and safety of their visitors, employees, and volunteers and partners at Lincoln Boyhood National Memorial is their priority. The National Park Service is working with the federal, state, and local authorities to closely monitor the COVID-19 situation. Officials will notify the public when they resume full operations and provide updates on their website and social media channels. In a story not related to COVID-19, around $24,000 of meth was seized, and 2 were arrested in Washington Tuesday night. A dealing methamphetamine investigation by the Washington Police Department and the DEA task force ended Tuesday night with the seizure of approximately 244 grams, or about a half pound of methamphetamine, with an approximate street value of $24,000. At approximately 10:30 p.m. Tuesday night, officers with Washington Police Department conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle on the Washington exit ramp of Interstate 69. The vehicle was occupied by 2 adults and 3 juveniles. After a positive alert to the presence of illegal narcotics by K9 Drago, a search of the vehicle was conducted, and the methamphetamine was located. A handgun and paraphernalia were also located. 32-year-old Juan Duban Castillo and 40-year-old Elsa Madrigal, both of Washington, were arrested on level 2 dealing methamphetamine charges and other charges. And by the way, for details on all the stories we had today and even more details, please go to our website, WJTS.tv. Now stay tuned. Weather and sports still to come on WJTS.